Somewhere in the middle of deep space, your galaxy is overpopulated and hopes to expand across the intergalactic planets. You will grow your fleet, expand your influence, and colonize planets in the name of intergalactic conquest. However, you are not the only empire looking to expand. Opportunistic rivals from other galaxies are growing just as fast as you, and even the universe is not big enough for all your ambitions to come true. If you maneuver your fleet strategically, select the right planets, and outwit your opponents, you can control the cosmos, leaving your rivals floating on worthless space rocks.
Welcome to Duelality Gamecast, the show for people who love to play games.
Hello everybody, welcome to Duelality Gamecast. I'm Matt.
And I'm William.
Today we're taking a very special look at tiny epic galaxies.
To set up the game, each player takes a galaxy mat and tokens in their chosen colors. Each player starts with 2 ships in the center of their galaxy. The other 2 ships are placed on their ship track. They also start the game with 1 culture, 2 energy, and finally place their empire token in the starting position. Next, place the activation bay and the 7 action dice in the center of the table, and deal out a number of planet cards equal to 2 more than the number of players. After everyone has looked at their planets, deal each player 2 secret mission cards. They secretly choose one and discard the other, and now you're ready to play. On your turn, roll a number of dice as shown on the empire track of your galaxy. You're allowed 1 free reroll, and may take additional rerolls at the cost of 1 energy. To use your dice, you will place them in the action bay, one at a time, taking their action. At this time, any other player may spend 1 culture to take that same action. The 6 actions you can take are: move a ship. This allows you to take the action of the planet you land on or enter orbit of a planet to start to take control of it. Acquire resources, both energy and culture. These actions give you a number of points equal to the number of ships you have in orbit and landed on planets, including your galaxy with the same icon. Advanced colonization, diplomacy, and economy. These actions move ships you have in orbit of a planet with the same icon, adding them to your galaxy when you reach the end of the track. The final action you can take is the Utilize Colony action. It allows you to activate the abilities of your galaxy and any planet you control. Everyone starts with the Upgrade Your Empire action that allows you to spend energy or culture to advance your empire token, unlocking more ships and dice as you go. As your galaxy is upgraded and you gain more planets, you will accumulate victory points. When a player reaches 21 points, the game comes to an end when everyone has received an equal number of turns. Then everyone reveals their secret mission card, and the player with the most points is the winner.
Alright, so Tiny Epic Galaxies from Gamelin Games. It's a game by Scott Alms, the one in their line of Tiny Epic games. William, why don't you talk to us about how this one plays?
A lot bigger than it looks at first. There's, for the small number of components and the simplicity of the overall design of the game, there's a lot going on. The dice action selection, we've seen that before. Here it runs really smooth. The fact that you can follow other people's actions, which is something that I just touched about briefly in the rules explanation, but it's a big deal in this. Using that culture to copy other people's actions makes them have to think about what they're doing a little bit. If you two are competing on one track of a planet and you start taking the economic action to push yourself up that track and they're ahead of you and they have enough culture, they'll just copy you and beat you to it. So you have to start kind of, all right, how much culture do they have? You have to pay attention a little bit to what resources they have before you take your actions, not because they can interfere with you directly, but because they can copy it and perhaps advance their board more. And I think for the simplicity of this game, that adds the depth that you're looking for, that takes it from being just a dice chucking type game to something that you're involved with everybody else's board state. And the special powers that you're getting as you're taking over planets, not only is it getting you to your victory point conclusion to end the game, it's giving you additional powers that now only you can take. So as you're playing, you're gonna try to build little engines. You start working on stuff. It's really easy to do re-rolls in this game because all it takes is energy, and it's easy to generate that stuff. It's a game that there's no walls. All the standard walls for like a big 4X game, that stuff's all knocked down. I don't think I'd classify this as like a 4X game,
No.
but it has just the taste of that with the ability to kind of like chuck dice. It's I don't know. It's kind of its own breed, I think.
For sure. It's got, with the ships on the planets, you got the kind of worker placement element.
Mm-hmm.
You can compete in that way. You can land and try to beat people to finish developing planets. But it's not as aggressively competitive as a some worker placement would be.
Mm-hmm.
I think it tickles a lot of the itches that we see in games like Race for the Galaxy, Roll for the Galaxy, even a little bit of Eminent Domain. You know, these kind of big space exploration themes that don't necessarily have an emphasis on, you know, combat kind of side of it. So that's where you lose that 1X from 4X, I guess. But it's okay because this is a ton of fun and a lot of options. I like how you can build sort of asymmetry into it as you're acquiring the planets.
Yep.
And you don't have to do that. Like, you could go with one, look, I'm looking for all the ones that will make me more efficient in this area. Or you could just, like, I'm just going to gobble up all the big planets. There's a lot of different ways to approach it.
Yeah, because the track advancement to take over planets are different lengths. So the ones that are worth more victory points generally have longer tracks. So there's the whole thing of, I'm going to take all these little short track planets. They're really easy to get. I might be able to do it in one entire turn really quick, and it gives you a whole unique other power, which maybe isn't exactly on theme, but when you have the diversity, when also you have like 6 powers to choose from, you have all these things that kind of like, you have a toolbox then. Or you can go for big victory points, and those usually have more powerful abilities. And just having presence on the board is cool too, because to generate resources, you have to have rockets on planets in your galaxy that have the same icon. So as you're expanding out, that also kind of directs what you can do. Because you'll be looking like, oh, I need to get this. You're like, oh, but I need more politics to be able to follow other people's actions. I don't really want that planet, but I'm going to land a ship over there just so I can generate some politics, and then I'll fly it somewhere else later on. It's cool. There's lots of kind of hopping in and moving around. I think every time we play this, we feel like the strategy's gotten deeper. Because at first you're like, oh, yeah, fun. We're just kind of doing stuff, and you're taking over stuff. And then you're like, oh, he's doing that. Let me do this. And you start advancing your plans. It has, I can see on some level there's a small amount of solitaire to it, because since there's no direct conflict, but because of the follow actions of other players, I think that completely counters what normally I would have as maybe a complaint. That follow action is just amazing.
Yeah, you stay involved, and the time you're waiting between turns is not that long at all.
It's short.
Which is very important. I also really like the secret mission cards. You choose one at the beginning of the game, and it kind of directs part of your strategy through the game, gives you a scoring bonus for the end of the game, which is kind of cool. It adds that extra little seasoning to the game, and it's nice because this is one of those games where someone triggers the end of the game by hitting a certain score level.
Yep.
But you don't know the whole story until everyone reveals those secret missions.
Yeah, and they kept them so their scoring is low, so you're not gonna be behind by 10 points, and then haha, I have the one that says I get 25 points, I win the game. Because as I said before, the victory point total is 21, but they do make the difference, and they can win you that tight race. And when we played, I both played searching for my secret goal and trying to achieve it, and ignoring it if the board say didn't work out right, or if I felt like I had a roll going or an engine made. And they both seem viable. So it's something that like it helps direct you, but doesn't lock you in. Yeah, it's another piece of this that just adds more depth without any more real complexity.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Matt, how do you feel the art and components work for this game?
I think they're strong. The mission statement with Gamelin is kind of, small box, big game, you know. And you've got some nice meeple type components, wooden spaceships, your card markers. What was that? Culture, energy, and society. What do you call it? Civilization.
Civilization area.
Silk
Screen on.
Yeah, nice silk screen on them. You've got actual nice engraved dice. The card stocks are all sort of, I don't know what you call it, kind of a soft linen, like not a heavy linen. The art and symbology in the game is really clean.
Yes.
It's easy to read. It's totally at a glance, sitting across the table. Going to have no issues seeing what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
The layout is smart. Like the little Galaxy boards, they figured out how to fit a lot of information tracking into a very small space. So I think they're hitting their mission statement here. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck. You do have, thank you, the built-in dice tray, i.e. box lid.
Yeah, sturdy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think it is that it's a small game, but it's not a cheap game.
No.
There's a big difference between those. This is light on, most of the stuff is cards, but they're nice cards.
Yeah.
Even you can tell, even with the box, it's hard, it's sturdy, it's good quality. For what you're getting in this, it'd be hard to go much higher than this without it end up being like a $50 game for this.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm very happy with the overall quality of it, too. The iconography, as you're saying, is clean. Even though they're small in the cards, you're right. From across the table, they're different enough. You can tell they made a good job of making sure that the ones that directly oppose each other, the culture and the energy, they look very different. So when they're on a card, you could easily tell them apart. Same thing with politics and economy. You can. There's never a confusion, and they did slight color coding with those to help out too. They do have a solo variant in the game too.
They do.
The back of every galaxy has a different kind of enemy galaxy that you could fight against. We really haven't spent any real time on that. We've been having too much fun anytime we want to play it, someone always seems to be around that wants to play it, so I haven't played the solo variant yet myself. But from the mechanics way it looks, it seems like it could be pretty interesting. Maybe we need to dig into that next.
All right, so in light of everything we've been talking about, William, how would you rate this game?
No beating around the bush, this is a must-buy for me. We played the demo of this at Gen Con. It was one of the highlights of Gen Con for me. Every time we play it, I feel like we get a little bit deeper into it. It plays relatively quick with a large amount of people. I can't find fault with it. And so because of that, I have to give it a must-buy because, well, here we go. We already got it. How about you, Matt? How do you feel about it?
I'm going to go with a must-buy as well. So we actually got on the same plane as the Gameland guys going to Gen Con.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter communicated a little bit, met up with them to demo the game. It was actually in the food court.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
And I was just overwhelmed with their enthusiasm for the whole thing, to the point where I was filming, you guys were demoing. It looked like a blast. I was super jealous that I didn't get to demo at the time, and I knew right then I was going to buy this game. And it's a complete picture. Like, little box, big game, tons of replayability. Definitely a must-buy for me. And these guys have impressed me to the point where I'm going to probably, must-buy stuff from them for a while. Like, the next thing they have coming out is a Western game. I think I'm going to have to get that too, just based on how much fun I had playing this game and how much they impressed me with their enthusiasm for the whole thing.
Alright guys, so that was our review of Tiny Epic Galaxies. Let us know in the comments below what you think about the game. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Facebook, tweet us on Twitter, and all the other great social media ways to contact us.
Thanks guys.
Thank you. Oh, but I said, and I also.